This woman was named Fusang, a being born from countless layers of resentment. She could see the grudges clinging to others and feed on them. But one day, the system dragged her into a Mary Sue world. Want to absorb resentment? Hand it over. The system then forced a parenting quest on her. The host had to eliminate the grudges of both the male lead and the villain. She had to stop them from turning against each other over the heroine, and instead raise them into upright, loyal brothers with deep bonds. Fusang was immediately unwilling, saving the world inside a book and babysitting 2 kids. But the system whispered in her ear, Fusang-sama, their resentment is overflowing. Ideal. Cub number 1, Chu Yensui. Everyone who had ever taken him in met with misfortune. At the orphanage, the kids called him a jinx and he was bullied constantly. Then come home with your big sister. Cub number 2, Xiaoyu. His gambling-addicted mother often beat him, leaving his body covered in wounds from years of abuse. You two come home with your big sister. Fusang thought adopting them meant she could just sit back and harvest resentment. She never expected. This was only the beginning. Bathing, shopping, eating together. Before she knew it, Fusang was getting serious about caring for them. Of course, she kept insisting, I'm only doing this for the resentment, definitely not because they're cute or anything. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. One was destined to be the future boss in the story, the other a villain capable of destroying the world. So why did it feel like she was raising them crooked? Fusang had been pulled into this world and became the only granddaughter of the world's richest man. Money no longer interested her. Her resentment was worth far more. Thinking of the system's mission, turning the male lead and the villain into loyal brothers with deep bonds, while collecting a mountain of resentment, Fusang set her plan into motion. She arrived at the orphanage, the designated mission site, with the director leading the way. Watching all the children running around, Fusang casually asked the system, so which one's the cub I'm supposed to raise? The male lead? The system answered, in the backyard. She told the director to take her there, but he hesitated, clearly trying to hide something. Fusang gave him a gentle smile, so dazzling that no one could resist when a beautiful lady smiled at them. In the backyard, she saw Chu Yensui being bullied, 2 kids kicking and punching him while hurling insults. He didn't fight back at all, and even the system couldn't stand it anymore. The male lead's being bullied, go save him. Before the words were finished, Fusang was already standing in front of Chu Yensui, her voice sharp. They're beating you up and you don't even know how to hit back? Chu Yensui lifted his head and glanced at Fusang. The director quickly tried to smooth things over, but Fusang ignored him completely. Chu Yensui slowly stood up and murmured, bullies are bad kids. I don't want to be like that. At such a young age, he already knew how to hide his emotions. If Fusang couldn't see the resentment clinging to him, she might have been fooled by his obedient act. Stepping closer, Fusang gently touched his cheek. I'll take this one. Sweat beaded on the director's forehead as he stammered, he's a bit strange. And every family that's adopted him before, none lasted more than 3 days. Fusang cut him off. I want him. Get the paperwork ready. The director had no choice but to agree. Chu Yensui could hardly believe it. Was she really going to adopt him? Jealous whispers rippled around them. Why is it always him? He'll be back in 3 days anyway. Everyone who ever adopted him met misfortune on the way home. He's a walking jinx. Hearing that, Chu Yensui's heart sank. Fusang turned and shot the children a cold glare, thinking, not cute at all, just noisy brats. Then she grabbed Chu Yensui's hand. Let's go home. Sitting in Fusang's car, Chu Yensui looked uneasy. He didn't know how long this home would last. Fusang slammed the gas pedal, the car shooting forward. Chu Yensui's eyes widened. This isn't the kindergarten bus, I want out. Chu Yensui was starting to feel carsick. The system quickly reminded Fusang, don't get addicted to speeding, your male lead's still in the car and he's about to throw up. Fusang scowled. Stop yapping, you sound like a broken pager. But as she glanced at the boy suffering beside her, she found it unbelievable. This little cub was supposed to grow into the boss of this world? She eased off the gas, but suddenly a car came barreling down the wrong lane. Fusang jerked the wheel and slammed the accelerator, barely dodging it. Chu Yensui slammed his head against the seat. Fusang clicked her tongue. Good thing he was the male lead, that if it had been anyone else, they'd be dead by now. Annoying. Fuming, she stormed out and marched to the other car, demanding the driver get out. The man panicked, stammering, trying to settle things privately. Fusang, what a coincidence. Fusang narrowed her eyes. And you are? The system quickly chimed in. That's your half-sister, Gu Qingying. Gu Qingying covered her mouth with a laugh, pretending not to know her. I thought you might have grown a little. Tell you what, just apologize and I'll let this go. Even the system couldn't take it anymore. Wow, she's got some nerve. She was the one driving the wrong way and now she's playing the victim. Fusang had no intention of indulging her nonsense. How about we just call the cops? She said coldly. Gu Qingying began to panic that if the cops got involved, she'd be in serious trouble. Fusang pulled out a wad of cash and smacked it right across Gu Qingying's face. I've got better things to do. Take the money, shut up and get lost. She turned back to the car only to hear Chu Yensui whisper an apology. Fusang frowned. What are you apologizing for? None of this is your fault. Chu Yensui gathered his courage, his voice trembling. Everyone who's ever tried to adopt me, something bad happened on their way home. Just like the kids at the orphanage said, I'm a jinx. Tears welled in his eyes. This time I'll probably be abandoned too. But why does it still hurt so much? Fusang reached out, ruffling his hair. What does that have to do with me adopting you? You got hurt just now, didn't you? We're going to the hospital. The system couldn't resist adding drama. Fusang-sama, you should have said it sweetly. You're not a jinx, you're my precious little candy drop. At the hospital, the doctor tried cleaning Chu Yensui's wounds, but he kept dodging, nearly driving the doctor crazy. Finally, the man sighed. Forget it, he just doesn't like being touched. The doctor asked, anywhere else hurt? Chu Yensui quickly hid his injured left hand behind his back and shook his head. No, the doctor shrugged. Then just buy some antiseptic spray. Nothing major. As they left the hospital, the system suddenly grew excited. The villain's here, 50 meters due north. Fusang immediately grabbed Chu Yensui and headed that way. Where are we going? He asked in surprise. Even before reaching the spot, Fusang could already sense the heavy, pure resentment in the air. Her eyes narrowed. This must be the villain, Xiaoyu. A group of nurses surrounded a little boy, whispering in surprise. How can a kid still be wearing patched-up clothes these days? Poor thing. Your mom's hospitalization requires money, sweetheart. Think again. Do you have any relatives or friends to help? Xiaoyu lowered his head and muttered, no one. Fusang stared at the pitiful child before her, thinking, so this is the boy destined to become a villain who could destroy the world? She stepped forward. How much does his mother's treatment cost? I'll pay. Gasps rippled through the crowd. What a stunning girl. Definitely comes from money. A nurse asked cautiously, and who are you to this child? Fusang replied calmly, just a stranger lending a hand. How much is the bill? I'll swipe my card. She led Xiaoyu downstairs to the billing office. Chu Yensui frowned, puzzled. Why was she suddenly helping a complete beggar? It was just like at the orphanage, so many kids to choose from, yet she picked him, the loner. Did she have some kind of strange preference? Laughter and mockery erupted around them. Ah, look at that filthy kid, is he a beggar? And the one next to him, he looks so dark, like he's about to kill someone. Fusang glanced back at her two cubs, a faint smile curling at her lips. As expected of the male lead and the villain, the resentment radiating off them is pure gold. After finishing the paperwork, Fusang bent down and told Xiaoyu, I'm leaving now, but we'll meet again soon. The system immediately questioned her. Fusang-ma, why not just take the villain away right now? Fusang rolled her eyes. His mom's still alive, that if I snatched him now, wouldn't that be kidnapping? I'll wait and go through the proper adoption process. Xiaoyu clenched his fists tightly, thinking, will we really meet again? Don't be stupid, he and I live in two different worlds. There's no way our paths will ever cross again. Back at the Gu residence, Chu Yensui looked around like a curious child that it was his first time in such a beautiful place. Fusang led him to meet her grandfather. The old man looked kind, and if not for the wrinkles, he must have been a handsome man in his youth. Fusang introduced, this is Chu Yensui, that I adopted him from the orphanage. Chu Yensui obediently greeted, hello grandpa. The old man patted his head warmly. Such a good boy, no wonder you chose him, sang. Then Fusang took him to see his new room. Chu Yensui's heart filled with quiet anticipation. What would it look like? When he stepped inside, he froze in shock. This will be my room. It's so beautiful. Sister, you can go rest, I can tidy it myself. But Fusang held out her hand. Give me your left hand. Chu Yensui looked confused until she pulled it up and said sternly, You're hurt. Don't try to hide it. Understand? She carefully applied medicine to his wound, her expression so serious it left Chu Yensui stunned as he whispered, Will you send me back? Fusang glanced at him. Send you where? Back to the orphanage? The system was getting desperate. Quick, tell the male lead you'll never send him back. Make it emotional so he'll be grateful, touched, and indebted to you. Chu Yensui glanced at Fusang, who remained silent, unease swirling in his chest. What am I even hoping for? In the end, she'll send me back, won't she? Fusang twisted open the medicine bottle. Why do you think I'd send you back? She asked flatly. Inwardly she scoffed. What a joke. My personal resentment generator. No way I'm returning him. Chu Yensui blurted out. I can do chores, I can learn anything. I just don't want to go back. Fusang tapped his nose lightly, a faint smile on her lips. Relax. Even if you begged me to let you go, I wouldn't. The system was speechless. What kind of nonsense are you even saying? Chu Yensui didn't hear, but he felt a chill brush past him. Don't worry, sister, he whispered. I promise I won't cause you any trouble. Even with her promise, unease lingered in his heart. After all, the people who adopted him before, they all said the same things at the start. So he tried his best to behave over the next few days. After all, who wouldn't like a well-mannered, obedient, pretty child? He carefully asked one of the maids, Does sister have anything she really likes? The woman smiled. You mean the young lady? I've watched her grow up. That she's kind and down to earth. Don't worry. If she brought you home herself, that means she already likes you. Fusang likes me. Chu Yensui thought for a moment, then shook his head. No. She probably just pities me. She shines so brightly, and me, I can't help but feel small. At the dining table, Fusang sat with effortless grace, her presence dazzling. Chu Yensui stared, completely entranced. Fusang raised an eyebrow. What are you spacing out for? Time for breakfast. Chu Yensui sat beside Fusang, placing the breakfast he had made in front of her. One of the maids smiled. Young Master Yensui got up early this morning just to make this for you. Fusang picked it up and took a bite. Not bad. Hearing her praise, Chu Yensui's face flushed red. Just then, grandfather walked in. Ever since Yensui came, Sang hasn't been lonely. The whole house feels alive again. He announced plans to register Chu Yensui for school so that after summer break he could start attending classes. Fusang wiped her mouth and said calmly, Once I bring back another child, Grandpa can register them both together. Chu Yensui's eyes widened. Another child? Who was she planning to bring? In his panic, he accidentally knocked over a glass of water that it shattered against the floor with a sharp crack. So hot. Do you want to scald me to death? A vicious woman lashed out at Xiaoyu. You can't even handle something this simple. That I should never have given birth to you. She shoved Xiaoyu to the ground, snarling, What are you standing there for? Waiting for me to beat you? This cruel woman was none other than his gambling-addicted mother. She often lashed out violently at him over the smallest things that an old man nearby finally couldn't bear it anymore. Why take your anger out on the child? Not everything is his fault. The vicious woman snapped, shouting at the old lady, You old hag, how I teach my son is none of your business. Keep meddling and you'll get what's coming to you. Meanwhile, Xiaoyu quietly began sweeping up the shattered glass. This was his daily reality. What else could he possibly do? At that moment, Fusang appeared. Found you. That I told you we'd meet again. Didn't expect it to be this soon, huh? Xiaoyu froze, stunned. It came far sooner than he ever imagined. Fusang asked calmly, Which one of you is Xiao Zhenyi? His mother, who had just been spewing venom at him, instantly switched to a fawning smile, her attitude a complete reversal. She thought to herself, This girl's clearly loaded. Wonder what kind of good fortune she's bringing me. Fusang declared boldly, I want your son. Both Xiaoyu and his mother were dumbfounded. The people around them were just as bewildered. Even the system couldn't take it. What the hell are you saying? Ever heard of being tactful? Xiao Zhenyi squinted suspiciously. And what do you want with my son? Fusang laid it out directly. I want to adopt him. Name your terms. Xiaoyu's heart pounded nervously. Was she really going to take him away? Xiao Zhenyi gave a mocking laugh. I carried him for 10 months. That you'll have to pay up. Fusang said flatly, 500,000. Xiao Zhenyi's eyes went wide. So much money. but she tried to play it cool. Only 500,000? Fusang cut her off. 1 million. The crowd gasped. Outrageously rich. Xiao Zhenyi's heart was already soaring. With that much money, she could buy clothes and makeup, pamper herself back into shape, snag another rich man, and finally ditch Xiaoyu, the dead weight dragging her down. But everyone had underestimated her greed. 1 million is compensation. Don't make me laugh. Xiaoyu is my precious darling. Xiaoyu, however, already saw the truth. She would never be satisfied. 250,000 more, Fusang said calmly. The crowd stirred in shock. To them, that was a fortune that if she wasn't satisfied with that, then nothing would ever be enough. The system whispered nervously, Fusang, have some patience. What if she refuses? Fusang pinched the system's tiny mouth shut. I know what I'm doing. Now mute yourself. Once, twice, but never thrice. Xiao Zhenyi wanted more, but fear gnawed at her. If she pushed again, the duck in her hands might just fly away and she'd end up with nothing. She yanked Xiaoyu forward. From now on, this brat has nothing to do with me. Call him whatever you want. With that, she shoved him into Fusang's arms. Fusang looked down at the child, wrinkling her nose at how filthy he was, yet still turned to leave with him. Xiaoyu looked up at her and whispered, I'm easy to raise, that I won't cause you any trouble. His pitiful tone. Who wouldn't feel their heart ache hearing that? And so, Xiaoyu was adopted by Fusang. What kind of future awaited him he didn't know. But no matter what, even if it was hell itself, it had to be better than staying with Xiao Zhenyi. But Xiaoyu never expected this. Fusang brought him straight to the city's largest spa center. The system was dumbfounded. Fusang-sama, shouldn't you be taking the villain home to comfort him? Why a spa center? Fusang ignored it. Resentment generator number 2 has to be just as clean as number 1. Inside, the full service, soaking, scrubbing, everything. For the first time in his life, Xiaoyu actually enjoyed a bath at the spa center. Yet when he looked down at his scarred body, a shadow lingered that he was clean now. But somehow it still didn't feel clean enough. Once he was done, Xiaoyu's appearance had completely transformed. Standing there was a handsome boy. The system urged, praise him. Let the villain know your attitude. Fusang scoffed. What? Praise him for being a good-looking resentment generator. Forget it. Just mute yourself. She studied the boy beside her. Much better now that you're clean. Only problem, the hair's too long. So she took him shopping. At the salon, the stylist beamed at the adorable boy. Don't worry, sweetie, that I'll make sure your haircut turns out perfect. When it was done, Fusang raised an eyebrow. Pretty sure, but did you even cut it? Haircut, shopping, walking the mall. This was a life Xiaoyu had never known. As the day wound down, it was time to go home. Back at the Gu residence, Xiaoyu clutched Fusang's hand nervously and whispered, Hello, Grandpa. Seeing Fusang return, Chu Yensui lit up with joy. But then he noticed the new boy by her side. Xiaoyu also spotted Chu Yensui, stunned. What was he doing here? Could he be her younger brother? Fusang looked at the two boys, sparks practically flying between them. The system warned, the hero and the villain's vibe is off. Quick, tell them to get along, not fight. Fusang frowned. Wouldn't a fight help them bond faster? Besides, I'd get more resentment out of it. She then introduced them to her grandfather. This is Xiaoyu, the one I mentioned before. From now on, he and Chu Yensui are both my little brothers. The system nearly blurted out resentment generators and went speechless. What a genius you are. Grandpa patted both boys' heads warmly. This is your home now. That if anyone dares to bully you outside, just tell me, I'll stand up for you. He then instructed Uncle Lu to handle their school enrollment. Fusang told Chu Yensui, take Xiaoyu to see his new room. Don't worry, sis. Leave it to me. Chu Yensui smiled gently as he led Xiaoyu along. Fusang and the system watched them go, thinking they should be able to get along. Right? Chu Yensui stopped at a door. This will be your room. I live right next door, he said, deliberately raising his voice. The one closest to sister's room is mine. His tone carried a claim of ownership. Then he extended his hand. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Fusang's younger brother. Please take care of me. Xiaoyu had no idea what he was trying to prove and brushed past him without a word. Stepping into his new room, Xiaoyu's face lit up with joy. It's so beautiful, a little desk, and a bed. Chu Yensui bristled when Xiaoyu ignored him. Hey, with hair that long, are you a boy or a girl? Xiaoyu shot him a sidelong glance, thinking what a nasty personality. Seriously, who's supposed to be the hero and who's the villain here? Suddenly, Fusang appeared. Why are you still standing at the door? Don't you like the room? I like it, Xiaoyu answered in a soft, milky voice. Chu Yensui rolled his eyes, "Does so fake." He quickly stepped up to Fusang, smiling sweetly. Sister, Xiaoyu really likes his room that he was practically staring in awe just now. Fusang nodded. Good, as long as he likes it. She reminded them, you two need to get along. No fighting. Both boys nodded obediently. The moment Fusang left, their faces changed. Chu Yensui shot Xiaoyu a cold look. I'm going back to my room. Stay put and don't cause Fusang any trouble, got it? Later, Xiaoyu learned from the servants that Chu Yensui was adopted too. That he sneered inwardly. Well, acting like the real young master. You almost fooled me. From then on, their rivalry officially began. Open hostility hidden beneath careful restraint. At least in front of Fusang, they played the part of loving brothers. Let me carry that for you. Thank you, you're too kind. Fusang, watching them, truly believed they were getting along. The system muttered non-stop. Fusang, can't you wake up earlier, spend more time with the hero and the villain? Other hosts are so diligent with their missions and you, just BBB all morning. You really are a walking beeper. At lunch, the two boys each grabbed one of Fusang's arms and pulled her to sit down. Sister, come on, the food's ready. Fusang muttered. Wait, wasn't it just morning? Don't tell me I slept till noon? Xiaoyu picked up a chicken wing and placed it in Fusang's bowl. Chu Yensui quickly chimed in. The auntie's chicken wings are really delicious. You should eat more, sister. Xiaoyu was speechless. That was clearly my cooking. Their eyes clashed in midair, silently dueling for what felt like 800 rounds. Grandpa watched them with a kindly smile. The school paperwork is already done. Sang, when you have time, take them to buy some stationery. All right, Grandpa, I'll take them right after lunch, Fusang replied. Both Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu looked at her with hopeful eyes. Sister, are you really taking me out? It was their first time going out with her, and both boys were overjoyed, though each secretly wished the other eyesore wasn't tagging along. Normally a speed demon behind the wheel, Fusang actually drove slowly this time. She glanced at the back seat. At least they won't get carsick now. The system sighed. Fusang, you've grown, actually caring about the hero and the villain. Fusang huffed. I'm only worried it might affect the resentment, that's all. Walking through the mall with two strikingly handsome kids by her side, Fusang drew stares everywhere. People whispered, those two are so good-looking. Imagine how gorgeous their parents must be. The mention of parents made both boys stiffen, and waves of resentment quietly seeped out from them. One had been abandoned at an orphanage since birth, with no parents at all. The other had a mother addicted to beating him and a father he'd never met. Truly, they were two children bound by the same misery. Fusang looked at the boys, ruffling their hair. Come on, I'll take you shopping. In perfect unison, they answered, okay, sister. On the way, Fusang gradually pulled ahead, leaving the boys trailing behind. They jogged to catch up, panting hard but still couldn't keep pace. The system complained, Fusang, wait for the boys. Are you powered by a motor or something? Fusang blinked innocently. Am I walking that fast? It's these long legs, I can't help it. With that, she slowed down. The boys noticed. She really did slow down for us. The mall was packed. Look, there's a sale over there, let's go. Jostled by the crowd, Xiaoyu instinctively grabbed Fusang's hand. Fusang froze, utterly baffled. Chu Yensui, on the other hand, nearly exploded with jealousy. I want to hold hands too. Fusang's confusion only deepened. Both boys grew anxious inside, unsure if she would shake their hands off. Fusang smiled. Come on, let's check out that stationery store up ahead. She took both boys by the hand. Their palms were soft and small, surprisingly pleasant to hold. And even better, it let her sense their resentment more clearly. For the boys, it was the first time anyone had held their hands, and the feeling was wonderful. Suddenly, the system appeared holding a book titled 101 Ways to Raise Kids. You might need this, it chirped. Fusang immediately smacked it away. Are you questioning my skills and intelligence? I don't need that crap. The system scrambled to pick the book back up, muttering, but what if Fusang-sama raises them the wrong way? Noticing Fusang's expression shift, Chu Yensui quickly blurted out, Sister, are you not feeling well? Xiaoyu rolled his eyes. This guy always snatches the lines first. Then Xiaoyu gently tugged her hand. Sister, if you're not feeling well, we can go home, we can come back another time. Seeing how worried they both were, Fusang felt a rare warmth. I'm fine, I just heard a dog barking. The boys blinked in confusion. Dog barking? The system exploded. You're the dog. Your whole family's the dog. Then it whimpered back to her side. Whimper, whimper. I work so hard and Fusang-sama calls me a dog. I'm adorable, okay? Even if I were a dog, I'd be the cutest dog in the world. Fusang waved impatiently. So noisy. She turned to the boys. You two stay here and pick something. I'm going to the restroom. Chu Yensui immediately answered like the perfect child. Sister, I won't run around. I'll also keep an eye on Xiaoyu, make sure he doesn't. Xiaoyu quickly added, Sister, I don't run around. The moment Fusang left, both boys dropped their masks. The air instantly froze over. Xiaoyu held up a book and pointed at Chu Yensui. No need to drag me down just to make yourself look better. As they were browsing, a harsh voice barked, Move it! You're blocking the way. Didn't you hear me? It was Gu Qingying and her cousin, Gu Qingying. Gu Qingying narrowed her eyes. Aren't these the brats who were with Fusang earlier? Last time in that car accident she embarrassed me. This time I'll make her pay. Gu Qingying sneered. They're in your way and you're just standing there? The chubby boy shoved Chu Yensui to the ground and jabbed a finger at him. That's for not moving. Chu Yensui glared back, debating should he fight back. But if he did, would it cause trouble for sister? A crowd of customers began gathering around. Xiaoyu also hesitated. If things escalated, would it drag Fusang into it? Then, catching sight of Fusang approaching, he made up his mind. Time to gamble. Xiaoyu stepped up to the bully and growled, You brat, apologize to Yensui. Now. The boy froze in shock. Even Chu Yensui was stunned. Why is he standing up for me? Since when were we this close? Fusang finally arrived and saw Chu Yensui lying on the ground. What happened here? At that moment, Chu Yensui realized. Xiaoyu was showing off. I can't lose to him. So he threw himself into the role, putting on the most pitiful expression he could muster. Fusang's heart ached. My boy. Someone actually bullied him. Gu Qingying fanned the flames with a smirk. Well, Fusang. What a coincidence. This mall isn't owned by you. Why can't I be here? Fusang's eyes snapped toward the chubby kid. Was it you who pushed him? The boy froze, too scared to admit it. Chu Yensui pressed on with his act. Sister, don't blame them. I just slipped and fell. Xiaoyu stepped in, wrapping an arm around Chu Yensui. It's my fault. I didn't protect him. If you're going to blame someone, blame me. Honestly, with acting this good, both of them deserved Oscars. Looking at her two pitiful boys, Fusang's anger only deepened. I've always spoiled them like treasures in my palm. How dare anyone lay a hand on them? Her fury exploded. Pulling Chu Yensui to his feet, Fusang glared at Gu Qingying. Picking on children? What kind of courage is that? If you've got guts, then pick on me. Gu Qingying quickly denied it. I didn't bully them. Fusang pointed straight at the chubby kid. Then it was him. Terrified, the boy clutched his cousin's arm. Cousin, I want to go home. I don't want to stay here. Gu Qingying rushed to smooth things over. He's just a kid, why bother arguing? She shoved the boy forward. Go on, apologize to your brother. But the kid stayed defiant. Not only did he refuse to apologize, he shouted, It was Chu Yensui's fault. Fusang crouched down beside Chu Yensui. Don't be afraid. Tell me, did he push you? After a moment's hesitation, Yensui nodded. Fusang's eyes hardened. Shove him back, exactly the way he shoved you. The crowd immediately broke into chatter. What kind of adult teaches kids like this? Isn't an apology enough? Another muttered. Please, if it were your child being shoved, you'd be making a bigger scene than anyone here. Chu Yensui stepped up to the boy, glaring with a death stare before curling his lips into a faint smile. Xiaoyu muttered under his breath. Seriously? Is this kid a walking drama factory? Then, bam! Yensui shoved the chubby boy onto the floor. The boy burst into tears, flailing around like a fish out of water. The bystanders erupted again. That was way too rough. Kids scuffle all the time, but this... I'm posting this online. Hearing the commotion, Yensui's nerves kicked in. Will sister be mad at me? Instead, Fusang ruffled his hair with a smile. Of course not. You did the right thing. When someone bullies you, you hit back just as hard. Don't worry, I'll take the heat. That overwhelming sense of safety melted Yensue's little heart on the spot. The shop assistant stepped out to mediate. Kids fight all the time. How about both sides take a step back and call it even? Gu Qingying didn't dare stir up more trouble, so she dragged the chubby boy away in embarrassment. Let's go, let's go. The system was thoroughly impressed with Fusang's performance. Thumbs up for you. With Gu Qingying and the boy gone, the crowd quickly lost interest and dispersed. Out of nowhere, Xiaoyu grabbed Chu Yensue's hand. Yensui, I'm just glad you're okay, that it's my fault for not protecting you. Chu Yensui cringed so hard he almost wanted to evaporate on the spot. Xiaoyu slapped his shoulder with fake brotherly warmth. Don't worry, next time I won't let anyone hurt you. Their smiles looked friendly, but it was the kind of forced grin you put on right before throwing hands. Fusang glanced at the two cubs thinking, they actually look like they're getting along. She ruffled Xiaoyu's hair. You did well. You really tried to protect Yensui. Squatting down to meet their eyes, she said, I know you both hold back because you're afraid of troubling me. But don't. From now on, I'll always have your backs. Fusang extended her pinky. Each boy hooked one of her hands. Double the pinky promise, double the joy. Xiaoyu jumped in first. I'll protect sister too. Not to be outdone, Chu Yensui shot back. I'm older than Ayuet, I'll protect him, sister, and even grandpa. Fusang ruffled both boys' heads. Forget what just happened. Take whatever you like. Instant mood reset. The system zipped up in her face. Fusang Darren, that was so cool. Guess the 101 ways to raise kids really works. Fusang scoffed. Please, that I only skimmed 2 pages. Don't force it, that I don't need that manual to raise kids. Look at them, already so close. Clearly my method is the right one. The system glanced at the two boys. They were politely sharing stuff, looking like they got along. But deep down it just felt off. Could the future hero and villain really coexist so easily? Back at the house, Chu Yensui barged into Xiaoyu's room. Did you take an extra book from me? Xiaoyu checked. Must have been a mistake when the clerk bagged it. He tossed the book over without a care. Chu Yensui smirked. If you want to read it, you can borrow it, assuming you can even understand it. Xiaoyu's face turned bright red. Mind your own business. But since he never went to kindergarten, half the characters were a blur, and Chu Yensui was milking that fact for all it was worth. Fine. I'll just ask sister to teach me, that'll piss you off even more. Clutching the book, Xiaoyu stomped to Fusang's door, but froze. Wouldn't this just bother her? Suddenly, Fusang swung the door open. What are you doing out here? Got something to say? Xiaoyu looked up with puppy eyes. Sister, there are some words in this book I can't read. Can you teach me? With that innocent face, who could refuse? Fusang agreed right away. Xiaoyu lit up with joy as Fusang patiently guided him. He repeated after her. Spring morning, unaware of dawn. He picked it up fast. Fusang patted his head. Well done. Praise from her made Xiaoyu beam with pride. Just then Chu Yensui happened to walk in. The sight made him want to storm in and sock Xiaoyu twice. Fusang spotted him. Why are you standing at the door? Come inside. Chu Yensui instantly switched faces. I saw sister teaching Ayue to read. I didn't want to disturb you. He put on the sweetest smile, though Xiaoyu clearly wasn't buying it. Fusang ruffled Chu Yensui's hair. Don't be so uptight. Learn to act your age. She pulled him to sit. Perfect, I'll teach you both. Chu Yensui said sweetly, I know more words than Ayue. Studying together means I can keep him on track. One compliment, one jab. Classic move. Xiaoyu quickly shot back. I'll work hard. I'll catch up in no time. Fusang glanced between them, sensing the air grow heavier. Was it her imagination or was the tension real? While Fusang was teaching the boys, a maid knocked. Miss, there's a phone call for you. The moment Fusang left, the two boys dropped their masks. Chu Yensui smirked. You can't even read the easy ones. What an idiot. Xiaoyu fired back. You're just jealous I get one-on-one time with sister. Stupid is stupid, jealous is jealous. Admit it, I won't even laugh at you. Their glares sparked in the air like kids bickering on a playground. Suddenly, footsteps sounded outside. The sister was back. Both boys switched faces faster than flipping pages. Chu Yensui leaned right up to Xiaoyu. Ayue, let me teach you. This word means sister. Xiaoyu smiled politely. I'll remember. Picture perfect brotherly harmony. Fusang frowned at the sight. They looked like they were getting along, but just outside she'd felt a wave of pure resentment. Chu Yensui beamed. Sister, I know all the words in Awe's book that I can help teach him for you. Xiaoyu bristled. Who said you could teach me? Yet in the end he could only nod in defeat. The system piped up. See? Hero and villain, playing nice. One willing to teach, one willing to learn. Perfect time for a graduation trip, don't you think? Turns out that phone call earlier was just a reminder. Don't forget the trip she'd agreed to. The system nudged again. That was the AI answering for you that if you ditch now you'll offend people. Please. Like I'm scared of that? Fusang hung up on the spot. But after a moment she reconsidered. The boys had never traveled before. With the system nagging in her ear, she finally decided to take them. Fusang asked the boys first. Wanna go? They answered in unison. Of course. Traveling with sister. Just the thought makes us happy. We'll leave Friday. You two start packing. The boys lit up instantly, running off to prepare. Fusang thought to herself, kids really are easy to please. The idea of a graduation trip had them over the moon. That night at 10 p.m., they were still checking and rechecking their luggage, terrified of forgetting something and causing sister trouble. By midnight, both were still at it, each determined to out-prepare the other. Classic competition. Seriously though, it's just packing a suitcase, not a survival mission. By 2 a.m., the excitement was unbearable. The thought of traveling with sister kept them wide awake, buzzing all night long. The next morning, the three boarded their flight. Fusang sat calm and collected while the boys were bundles of nerves. As the plane lifted off, Chu Yensui winced from ear pressure. Fusang handed him a piece of gum. Chew this, it'll help. Sister's gum is so sweet. Chu Yensui beamed. Xiaoyu nearly rolled his eyes. This guy, so dramatic that I'm fine, why's he acting pitiful? Fine, two can play this game. He tugged on Fusang's sleeve. Sister, I'm not feeling good either. Of course, he scored a piece of gum too and instantly looked smug about it. 10 minutes later, the boys started nodding off. Serves them right for staying up all night. Then, as if rehearsed, both toppled onto Fusang's arms. Yeah, no accident. This was clearly premeditated. Fusang sighed, a little helpless, and pulled out a blanket to cover them. The system popped up, practically bouncing. At last, Fusang-sama finally knows how to take care of people. Fusang glanced down at the sleeping brats. Who knew resentment generators could look this cute while asleep? She couldn't resist snapping a quick photo of Chu Yensui. And of course, drowsiness is contagious. Soon Fusang was dozing right along with them. Eventually, the three arrived at their destination. Walking through the streets, they turned heads everywhere. One stunning woman plus two adorable kids. Unstoppable combo. The system mused. In the original story, it was their tragic childhoods that twisted them into what they became. But this time with you and me, the brilliant, handsome system, of course they'll grow up into model citizens. Fusang nodded. Sure, because I'm here. But you, not so much. At the inn, things went exactly as expected. Meaning, of course, something went wrong. Only 2 rooms left. The boys instantly tensed up, sneaking glances at their sister, desperate to know how she'd split the rooms. At the doorway, both boys were on edge. Will sister pick me? What if she picks him? No way, I won't let that brat share a room with her. Fusang, unfazed, simply said, you two go ahead and choose. If I can't have it, neither can he. Chu Yensui suddenly patted Xiaoyu's shoulder. I want to room with Awe. Xiaoyu instantly grabbed his hand, smiling like sunshine. Perfect. I was hoping to stay with Yensui too. And hey, this one's got 2 beds. Fusang, watching them, thought they were getting along surprisingly well. Go unpack your things, we'll head out for dinner after. The boys nodded sweetly. Back in her own room, Fusang felt oddly pleased, convinced the two were bonding nicely. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Xiaoyu and Chu Yensui shoved their beds apart in perfect sync. They glared at each other, the air practically crackling. Don't even dream of hogging sister for yourself. Then, grumble. Both stomachs betrayed them, growling at the same time. The tension popped like a balloon, replaced with awkward silence. Just then, Fusang returned. The 3 changed clothes and headed out together, all smiles as if nothing had happened. At the resort's restaurant, Fusang let the boys order for themselves. Predictably, the competition kicked in again. What does sister like to eat? Both racked their brains and ended up ordering almost exclusively Fusang's favorites. Naturally oblivious, Fusang just thought, wow, so our tastes are already perfectly aligned. When the food arrived, the boys dug in with graceful manners, making Fusang beam with pride. Suddenly, a wave of fake sweetness drifted over. A couple walked up. The system whispered, "That's Lin Yujia, your so-called bestie." In Chinese slang, she's a green tea girl. All sweet on the outside, scheming on the inside. Lin Yujia lit up at the sight of her. "Fusang, you actually came. I'm so happy." Then she put on her sad act. "I thought you were still mad at me and wouldn't show. You forgiving me means the world." Fusang had no clue what was going on, but she could practically smell the sickly sweet two-faced vibe rolling off her. Spotting the two boys, Lin Yujia cooed, "Oh my, such handsome kids. Are they your little brothers?" She reached out to pat Chu Yensue's head, only for him to dodge her hand without hesitation, leaving the air thick with awkward silence. The green tea girl turned on her act. "Fusang, you're still mad at me, aren't you? Even your kids look at me with hostility. Tell me what I did wrong, I'll change, okay?" The fake sweet aura was so thick it was practically dripping off her. Fusang just smiled faintly, tipped off Chu Yensue's hat and ruffled his hair. Smooth as silk. Chu Yensue looked up, obedient as ever. "See? I'm a good little brother, aren't I?" The green tea girl froze while her boyfriend quickly stepped in, extending a hand to Fusang. "Judge's just being dramatic. Let me apologize on her behalf." Inside though, his thoughts were darker. Gu Fusang looks even more stunning than before. And she's still the Gu family heiress. If I could get close to her. Yep, a schemer through and through. Instantly, alarms went off in both boys' heads. The fake sweet friend wasn't the real threat. The man clearly had his eyes on their sister. They shot up together, each grabbing his outstretched hand. In perfect sync, they declared, "We accept your apology." "Nice try, creep. Touch sister's hand. Over our dead bodies." Then the boys put on their own little show. "Don't worry, mister, our sister's really kind, she'd never stay mad at you." A beat later, their smiles sharpened. "But we're not sure if this big sister here might be mad at us instead." Lin Yujia was stunned. She hadn't expected to meet rivals who could match her own brand of manipulation. Chu Yensui grabbed Lin Yujia's sleeve, eyes wide with fake innocence. "Big sis, I didn't mean to dodge you earlier. I'm just shy around strangers." Xiaoyu chimed in with his own pitiful act. "If it'll make you forgive us, we'll do whatever you want." The boys might fight each other daily, but right now they stood united. Their pitiful apology routine made onlookers frown at Lin Yujia instead. The green tea girl snapped, humiliated, and raised her hand to strike, only for Fusang to cut in, eyes cold. "Lay a finger on my brothers and you'll answer to me." Her schemer boyfriend rushed in again. "It's all a misunderstanding, let's calm down." He tried to slip his hand toward Fusang's, even tossing out a casual invite to hang out. Fusang blocked him with ease, her smile razor sharp. "Save it, your little schemes. Your girlfriend can see right through them." Fusang walked off with the two boys, leaving the green tea girl and her schemer boyfriend bickering behind them. Boom. The cutesy system popped up again, grinning. "Wow, the male lead and the so-called villain just defended you. Shouldn't you start treating them more gently?" Fusang rolled her eyes. "What kind of nonsense is that? I wasn't gentle. I literally protected them just now. And I didn't even expose the fact they were obviously staging that little act together." The system snickered. "Please, their resentment was practically leaking out of them. Oh, by the way, I just added you to a group chat. You should check it. It's called the Full-Time Moms Club." Fusang froze. "Are you kidding me?" She immediately tried to rage quit, tapping leave group over and over, only to get a system notice. "This group is bound. You can't exit." The system smirked in triumph. "Think about it, Fusang. Now you can trade parenting tips with other moms." "Parenting tips? My ass. I'm raising walking disaster engines. How is that the same as normal kids?" Fusang snapped back. Right then, a message popped up in the chat. Judging by the profile pic, it had to be some sweet old granny. "Ah, children always love sweets." Fusang told the boys to wait a second, then stormed off. Guess where she was headed? From the moms group chat, Fusang learned a shocking secret. Kids love sweets, so she bought 2 cotton candies, instantly lighting up the boys' faces. The system squealed. "Fusang, you actually figured out how to make them happy." Fusang handed out the treats. "Strawberry for Yensui, orange for Ayue, and this plain, flavorless one is for you," she added, passing the last stick to the system. The two boys munched away, grinning ear to ear, and Fusang's mood lifted along with theirs. Suddenly, Xiaoyu held out his cotton candy toward her. "Sister, have a bite." Fusang brushed back her hair and took a small bite. Xiaoyu blushed, looking a little shy. Chu Yensue's expression darkened, but he hated how they all clung to her. It was such an eyesore. Fusang noticed his sour mood and asked gently, "Yensui, you don't like this flavor?" Chu Yensui forced a smile. "Of course I do. Anything you buy I like." Taking both boys by the hand, Fusang led them toward the lake. But Chu Yensue's mind wandered, a single thought echoing inside. "I wish I could be the only one by her side." By the lake, a soft breeze brushed against their faces. It felt wonderful. Fusang noticed the two boys staring at another family taking pictures. The system chimed in, "They must feel left out. Why not take a photo together? Call it a keepsake." So Fusang asked a nearby young lady to snap a picture for them. The boys looked nervous. Fusang crouched down and motioned them closer. "Come on, that's the spirit." Just as the shutter clicked, Chu Yensui suddenly kissed Fusang on the cheek. The photo froze that exact moment. Chu Yensui kissing Fusang, while Xiaoyu remained completely oblivious. Chu Yensui's cheeks turned red and Fusang was stunned. Why did he kiss me out of nowhere? Was he craving more affection? Xiaoyu, clueless as ever, noticed nothing. As the saying goes, strike first, gain the upper hand, act late, suffer for it. The young lady handed the phone back to Fusang. Looking at the photo, Fusang couldn't help but think, yikes, poor Xiaoyu, he's barely even in the frame. She brushed it off, assuming that a little kiss during a photo was just kids being kids. Meanwhile, Xiaoyu eagerly leaned over, dying to see the picture. But the moment Xiaoyu saw the photo, it felt like the sky was crashing down on him. He quickly tugged at Fusang's sleeve, pleading, "Sister, I want to take a picture like that too, kissing you." Not wanting him to succeed, Chu Yensui pulled on Fusang's arm and whined, "I'm tired, let's go back to the hotel and rest." Since it was getting late, Fusang decided to take the boys back. On the way, Xiaoyu's mind spiraled. Why wouldn't she let me take the same picture? So feelings really are about who comes first. Maybe she just prefers Chu Yensui because he made the first move. With both boys lost in their own thoughts, the day quietly came to an end. In the following days, Xiaoyu couldn't even enjoy the trip. Chu Yensui wove a flower crown for Fusang and Xiaoyu made one too. But he couldn't muster the courage to hand it over. Ever since that day, his confidence had been shattered, leaving him stuck in a gloomy funk. Fusang noticed Xiaoyu sulking, tapped his head lightly with the flowers and asked, "What's wrong? Aren't you coming to play?" Xiaoyu lifted the flowers to cover his face, hiding his emotions. "I'm fine. Let's keep climbing. Sun's about to set." In his rush, he tripped on a rock, and in that instant Fusang grabbed his hand to steady him. She leaned closer with concern. "Are you hurt?" Xiaoyu shook his head. As the sky darkened, Fusang held both boys' hands and led them back. Yet Xiaoyu was still drowning in his emo spiral. "It's my fault she didn't enjoy herself. She must think I'm nothing but trouble. Always worse than Chu Yensui." He clenched Fusang's hand tighter. "I have to surpass him. I need to be better. Only then will I deserve to stay by her side forever." What should have been a joyful trip turned into a heavy knot in his chest, all thanks to Chu Yensui's little move. When the trip finally ended and the three returned home late at night, Fusang told the boys to tidy up and get some rest before heading to bed herself. Xiaoyu felt utterly drained. His head was dizzy, and after splashing cold water on his face, a chill ran through him. But he couldn't sleep. His study tasks weren't finished. Only by surpassing Chu Yensui would his sister choose him. Forcing himself to study into the night, his body rebelled. Dizziness, coughing, and a feverish flush creeping across his face. Reaching for a water cup to steady himself, he fumbled and knocked it over. In the ensuing panic, he collapsed to the floor. As consciousness blurred, grim memories rushed back. A missing father and a mother who answered only with blows. Unlike other children, he came to hate the word mother. He even prayed in secret for her to disappear from the world. But reality was merciless. She stayed, and she brought home another man. The man was utterly deranged. He placed an apple on Xiaoyu's head and used it for target practice. In their eyes, Xiaoyu was nothing more than a disposable toy, something to be played with and tossed aside without a shred of remorse. Terrified, he curled into a ball, but fear only brought harsher beatings. No one loved him. and he slowly forgot how to love anyone in return. Filthy and brooding, unwanted by all, perhaps even despised by the gods, until Fusang appeared like an angel, a single ray of light piercing his darkness. Which was real, the torment of the past or the fragile happiness of now? Was one of them just a dream? Now lying on the hospital bed, Xiaoyu murmured weakly, "Why does everyone hate me?" Fusang's heart ached for him. Even Chu Yensui, usually cold, looked worried. "He'll be okay, right?" Fusang stroked his head gently and reassured him. "He'll be fine. Go to the kitchen and ask someone to make him some porridge." The system suddenly popped out. He must be dreaming about his past abuse. Master Fusang, hold his hand, see if you can calm him down. The moment Fusang touched Xiaoyu's hand, a wave of resentment surged through it. He whimpered, "I'll be good, just don't abandon me." Even the system's voice softened. "Master Fusang, try saying something to him." Fusang thought for a moment, then said with a straight face, "Don't worry. Even if you're not good, you're still my resentment machine. I won't abandon you." The system snapped, "That's the worst comfort ever. Shut up." Gazing at the boy on the bed, Fusang bent down and gently kissed his forehead. "With me here, no one will ever hurt you again. I'll always protect you." Xiaoyu slowly calmed down, his breathing steadier. The system was stunned. "What did you just do?" Fusang replied matter-of-factly, "Didn't you tell me to find a way to soothe him?" The stay-at-home moms group said this works. Turns out she had read in the group, "Kids can always be comforted with kisses, hugs, and a little lift in the air." The system was speechless for a moment, then sighed. "Fine. You did well. But don't ever do that again." At last, the deep furrow between Xiaoyu's brows began to relax. Xiaoyu stole a glance at Fusang, his thoughts swirling. "She kissed me because I was sick, right? If that's the case, then maybe I don't want to get better too quickly." But under Fusang's careful care, he recovered in no time. Before long, the new semester began and Fusang brought both boys to school. That's when the system suddenly noticed something. The heroine was here too. As Fusang walked the boys in, the system spotted her at the gate. "The heroine? What heroine?" Fusang asked, confused. The system replied matter-of-factly, "The heroine of the original story, Shin Lucy, the childhood friend of both the protagonist and the rival. Yes, the very girl who drove them apart and, in the end, triggered the world's destruction." Fusang raised an eyebrow. "Oh?" For the first time, her curiosity was piqued. The system nearly burst into tears. After all this time, Master Fusang was finally willing to look at the script. Shin Lucy was a gentle and independent girl, kind-hearted and warm, the type everyone adored. Qian Sui and Xiaoyu were no exception. To them, she was a ray of light piercing through the darkness of their lives, their only salvation. But reality forced Shin Lucy to choose between Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu. Her hesitation only deepened the rift between them. "Stop, please stop fighting," she cried, but in the end, their clash turned into mutual destruction, dragging the entire world down with them. Fusang was speechless. "Seriously, the plot has to be this melodramatic?" The system replied sternly, "You don't get it. The heroine is the only one who ever gave warmth to both the protagonist and the rival." Fusang rolled her eyes. "Lack of love is just lack of love, don't sugarcoat it." Then a thought struck her. When these two boys grow up straight and proper, does that mean she'll have to leave? Exactly. Isn't this the ending you always wanted? The system reminded. That's when Fusang suddenly realized she'd been working all this time, just to raise someone else's future husband. The system quickly tried to comfort her. "Once the mission's done, we can walk away with a fat pile of resentment energy. Total win-win." But even with that reassurance, Fusang couldn't shake off the sour feeling in her chest. Something about this just felt wrong. Right then, the heroine Shin Lucy unexpectedly walked up to her and said softly, "Sister, my hair came loose. Could you help me fix it?" Fusang froze, dumbfounded. "Wait, what? Why is the heroine suddenly coming to me?" Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu instantly went on high alert. "Who is she? Why is she getting so close to sister? What's her game?" Fusang finished fixing her hair and Shin Lucy beamed with joy. "Sister, you're not only beautiful but so kind as well." Before Fusang could react, Shin Lucy suddenly threw herself into her arms, giving her a big hug. "Sister, you're so pretty. I really, really like you." The two boys froze, completely dumbfounded, their hearts filled with jealousy. This girl had the audacity to confess right in front of them, What kind of bizarre rival was this? Truly a twist of fate. Lucy never imagined that by trying to get closer to the male lead and the villain through Fusang, she would instead be branded as a love rival by them. For the record, this girl was none other than Lucy. The original heroine of the novel Fusang had transmigrated into. To everyone's surprise, Lucy turned out to be a transmigrator too. She originally came here expecting to live out a Mary Sue dream, surrounded by handsome men. But before long she was completely dumbfounded. Why did she keep ending up in places like orphanages and hospitals? She searched everywhere for the male lead and the villain, only to find nothing. Where on earth had they gone? With no other choice, she camped out at school hoping to catch them there, and to her delight she finally did. What stunned her though was the presence of a big sister figure by their side. Someone who didn't exist in the original story at all. Could her transmigration have altered the plot? Well, no matter. This sister was gorgeous too, and from her perspective that only made the game more interesting. So she deliberately used Fusang as a bridge to approach the boys, only to be met with cold, unfriendly stares. Wait, what's going on? Why are they looking at me like that? Lucy greeted the boys with a warm smile, introducing herself enthusiastically. In return, she got complete silence from both of them. Fusang ruffled the kids' hair and explained gently, "They're a little shy. Not the best at socializing." Then she urged them, "She's being so friendly, shouldn't you give her a proper response?" With their big sister giving the order, Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu instantly changed their tune. "Hello, I'm Chu Yensui. From now on we'll be good friends," they chimed obediently. Lucy nearly cracked. Seriously, how do their faces switch this fast? The school bell rang and the boys waved goodbye to Fusang before heading into class. Watching the three of them full of youthful energy, Fusang and the system felt a surge of satisfaction. That is, until she caught the flashing text above the boys' heads. Affection toward heroine, -5. After saying goodbye to Fusang, they head back to class. Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu wear their icy faces again. Lucy grumbles in her head, "Seriously, these two little tycoons are moody from day one. How am I supposed to win them over?" After class, she tries small talk. "Your sister is gorgeous. Are you actually siblings?" Then she fires off a whole barrage of questions. Both boys think at once. Every line is a landmine. She really does have thoughts about their sister. The two finally unite and snap, "Why are you asking? Mind your own business." Two girls crowd over, buzzing, "We saw your sister too, like a fairy just descended. Can you lend her to us?" The boys bristle and answer in unison, "Don't even think about it, she's not for loan. We barely get enough ourselves." While they're chatting, the class bully Yu Xiaohuan shows up. "Isn't this the chubby kid who ran off with his tail between his legs last time? A few days later and suddenly he's brave?" He bursts out, "Fusang is vicious, like a banshee, and she throws money around to bully people." Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu spring to their feet. "Who's the one looking feral and throwing weight around is pretty obvious, isn't it? Everyone take a look. Whose face looks more like a banshee right now?" Yu Xiaohuan turns crimson with rage, looking like the banshee himself. Realizing he can't outtalk them, he starts threatening other classmates instead. Lucy can't stand it anymore. "How can you lie with your eyes wide open?" The chubby kid jabbed a finger at Lucy. "Stay out of this. Do you even know who calls the shots in this class?" Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu found it childish and boring. They grabbed their bags, ready to leave. Seeing them ignore him, the kid instantly flew into a rage. He lunged and shoved at Chu Yensui, but Chu snapped back, "Don't touch me." The kid nearly exploded, thinking, "Fine, I can't mess with Chu Yensui. Then I'll pick on that long-haired sissy instead." He rushed forward and yanked Xiaoyu down to the ground. Grabbing Xiao's book, he tore it in half and sneered, "Orphan trash like you doesn't deserve nice things. Go ahead, hit me, idiot." Xiaoyu had never heard such an insulting challenge that he dropped the kid with a punch, then climbed on top and slammed him with two more. The whole class froze in shock. Chu Yensui couldn't believe it. "This guy swings even faster than me, he can really fight?" Seeing Xiaoyu throwing punches, someone ran to get a teacher. Chu and Lucy rushed over to pull him back. "Stop. If you keep going, you'll drag your sister into trouble." At the mention of his sister, Xiaoyu finally snapped out of it. Then the chubby kid was bawling his eyes out. The teacher rushed in, and so did the chubby kid's mom, Madame Yu. Without even asking what happened, she demanded an explanation from the teacher and called Xiaoyu a bastard child. As expected, behind every spoiled kid stands an even worse parent. Madame Yu yapped endlessly. Xiaoyu didn't care about her insults. What he cared about was whether this mess would trouble his sister. Would she stop liking him? Lucy couldn't stand it anymore and spoke up to defend him. But against Madame Yu she was hopeless. Every time she tried to argue she was cut off and drowned out by sheer volume. Done with Lucy, Madame Yu turned her fire on Xiaoyu's family. Parents without manners raise children without manners, they're trash all the same. Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu both snapped. You can insult us, but you don't get to insult our sister. Madame Yu pressed harder. So what if I do? You're all just brats without any upbringing. Just then Fusang arrived, voice cold. A woman who only knows how to scream insults should worry about the child she raised first. Madame Yu glared. And who are you supposed to be? Fusang pulled the two boys close and said calmly, from now on I'll take this fight for them. With his mom backing him, the chubby kid puffed up again. This bastard cut my skin. I want him expelled. Xiaoyu roared back. Who the hell are you calling a bastard? I'm calling you the bastard kid. Madame Yu snapped, then furiously swung her hand to slap. The two boys instantly stepped in front of Fusang to shield her. But Fusang caught Madame Yu's hand mid-swing, twisted, and squeezed until Madame Yu screamed in pain. Fusang gave a cold smile. Watch your mouth in front of children. Set an example. The three kids all let out a breath of relief. Lucy's eyes lit up, turning into instant fangirl mode. Sister, you're so cool. Beaten in both words and action, Madame Yu resorted to a tantrum. Her brother hit my son and now she dares to hit me. Is there no law left? Hearing that Xiaoyu had thrown punches, Fusang asked what happened. Xiaoyu hesitated, torn about how to explain without dragging his sister into trouble. Madame Yu smirked. See, he's stammering because he's making it up. Fusang simply patted Xiaoyu's head. Then let's check the security cameras. Luckily, the cameras were still working. Otherwise it really would have been hard to clear things up. The teacher went off to pull the footage, dragging Lucy along. She protested. But I still want to watch the drama. Everyone gathered to watch the security footage. Madame Yu was still loud and arrogant, but her son began to look uneasy. The video made it clear. The chubby kid started it. The teacher told him to apologize to Xiaoyu, but Madame Yu brushed it off. My kid was just joking around. Classic double standard. Fusang wasn't having it. Bring out his workbook. However he tore yours, you tear his the same way. She patted Xiaoyu's shoulder. Don't fear bullies, don't fear being a burden. What matters is learning how to protect yourself. Chu Yensui had already handed him the chubby kid's notebook. Don't make me look down on you. Xiaoyu took it, murmuring, I think I've grown so used to enduring, I've forgotten what courage feels like. The weak don't deserve to stand by my sister's side, and if I can't protect myself, how can I protect her? In front of the whole class, he ripped the notebook clean in half. The chubby kid burst into tears. Xiaoyu said coldly, I didn't do anything wrong. I just gave back what you did to me. Fusang left with the two boys while Madame Yu went right back to pestering the teacher. Poor teacher, 3 seconds of silence for them. For the first time, Xiaoyu felt what it was like to be protected by family. At last, I have a real home. Xiaoyu grabbed Fusang's and Chu Yensui's arms, vowing in his heart, wherever they are, that's where home will be. But Chu Yensui was in a foul mood lately, because that brat Xiaoyu kept clinging to their sister under the excuse of being injured. Too shameless. He even skipped class just to stay by her side, demanding to study while being held in her arms. And he claimed he had nightmares and needed to sleep with her. Unbearable. Absolutely intolerable. I can't just sit here and let this happen. I have to come up with a plan, Chu Yensui thought grimly. Just then Lucy came over to chat, but Chu still gave her the cold shoulder. Suddenly, a classmate rushed up. The teacher was looking for Chu Yensui and needed him right away. Lucy, armed with years of Mary Sue experience, immediately sensed something fishy. She trailed behind quietly, and sure enough, it was a trap. The chubby kid had lured Chu Yensui out. Having lost face too many times in front of Xiaoyu and Chu, the chubby kid decided to settle all scores today. He swung his fist at Chu Yensui, but it was instantly caught in a firm grip. No matter how he struggled, he couldn't break free. Chu Yensui looked down at him in disdain. Too weak. With a casual flick, he sent the chubby kid sprawling to the ground. Lucy's eyes sparkled as expected of the male lead. Absolutely badass. Suddenly, Chu Yensui had a brilliant idea. If I got bullied and injured too, wouldn't I get to stick to Fusang just like Xiaoyu? Perfect plan. He picked up a branch nearby and walked over to the chubby kid. Thinking he was about to get hit, the kid burst into tears. But Chu Yensui shoved the branch into his hands instead. Take it, hit me. The kid froze in shock and Shin Lucy stared in disbelief. Chu barked, hurry up. Don't waste time, hit me with it. The chubby kid freaked out. What kind of nightmare logic is this? He flung Chu's hand away and bolted. Oh my god, this school is terrifying, I'm going home. Watching him run, Chu actually felt disappointed. His carefully crafted plan, get beaten, get injured, cling to sister, earn hugs and kisses and piggyback rides, was ruined. He caught sight of Shin Lucy spying from the side. Come out, how much did you see? Shin grinned awkwardly. Not too much, not too little, just enough. Chu turned to leave but Shin pressed. Why on earth did you want him to hit you? Chu snapped. None of your business, don't be stingy. If you've got questions later, I'll answer too. That made Chu pause, he looked back. Actually, I've got a question right now. Shin's eyes lit up. What is it? Tell me. Chu hesitated, clearly embarrassed. Well, do you know how to get a girl's attention? Huh. What's that supposed to mean? Shin was stunned, her mind racing. Wait, is he trying to hit on me? Is this the transmigration bonus kicking in? Shin Lucy thought for a moment, then held up one finger. One word. Grind. She slipped Chu Yensui a note. Follow this plan and you'll grind your way to the Milky Way. Chu opened it. Just the titles were outrageous. The overbearing Xiao fell in love with me, 100 ways to please your black cat master. The craziest part. One was gutsy enough to teach and the other was actually serious enough to learn. And of course, his sister's birthday was right around the corner. Determined to prepare, Chu studied like a man possessed, even taking notes. If I had studied like this before, college would have been guaranteed. While he was still pondering what gift to give, a sudden meow caught his ear. He went downstairs and saw Fusang holding a small black cat in her arms. Sis, where'd the cat come from? Fusang replied, found it at the door. It reminded me of you and it's hurt. Reminded you of me? No way. Chu practically exploded. Fusang told him, go get it some food. I'll treat its wound in a bit. Chu obeyed and quickly brought food. But the black cat stayed on guard, eyeing him warily. When Fusang came over with the first aid kit, the cat immediately ran to her and rubbed up against her like an angel. Chu muttered to himself, always clinging to my sister. Yeah, that part really is just like me. Chu Yensui muttered to Fusang, it won't come over to eat. Fusang cradled the black kitten. Only if it's full will it have the strength to heal, understand? She fed it by hand until the kitten was satisfied. Chu handed her iodine and gauze and Fusang carefully cleaned its wound. Chu's heart stirred. This was exactly how she took care of me when she first adopted me. She looks at the kitten the same way she once looked at me. For a moment he even felt a little fond of the black cat, until his jealousy kicked in. Damn it, this stupid furball really knows how to act cute. Quit clinging to her. Leave it to me instead. Fusang lifted the kitten. Why does it keep rubbing against me, even licking me? Chu smirked inside. His effort wasn't wasted. He answered seriously, it's declaring its ownership. Fusang blinked in confusion. Chu went on, cats use their scent to mark their masters. That's how they claim territory. That's kind of interesting, but sadly I can't keep it. Fusang sighed. Chu's eyes widened in surprise. She explained, holding the kitten close. Grandfather's allergic to cat fur. We can't keep pets at home, but I'll send it to the best animal shelter. Seeing Chu look a little downcast, Fusang tapped his nose playfully. If you can't bear to part with it, I'll take you to visit any time. Watching the kitten about to be sent away, Chu felt a strange pang of empathy. If Fusang hadn't chosen me back then, would I have ended up the same way? Abandoned with nowhere to go? Back in his room, Chu Yensui looked grim. I never want to leave this place. Never leave Fusang. But how can I make sure she's always mine? Do I have to mark her like a cat does? He picked up a pencil and began sketching absent-mindedly, until suddenly an idea struck him. If I give Fusang this as a birthday gift, could it leave my mark on her heart? Meanwhile, Xiaoyu was also stressing over his sister's birthday gift. What could he possibly give? Then he remembered how secretive Chu Yensui had been lately. Could he be secretly preparing something for her? Jumping off his chair, Qiao decided to investigate. He slipped into Chu's room. Chu wasn't there, but something sat on the desk. Picking it up, Qiao gasped. Damn! Kids aren't supposed to look at this. I can't believe Chu actually has such a kink. At school, Qiao spotted a group of girls whispering. Shen Lucy waved him over. Hey Xiaoyu, come play with us. This wish paper game is all the rage. Wish paper? What's that? No way, don't tell me you've never heard of it. Shen pulled out a small envelope and explained. Qiao scoffed. Only little kids believe in that stuff. But then it clicked. If I can get sis to write down a wish, I'll know exactly what to give her. Ha, I'm a genius. Nice. Shen asked if he wanted to join. It really works. Qiao smiled and nodded. For once he showed a smile not directed at Fusang. Shen's face turned red. Looks really our justice. The two of them each had their own schemes. Her mind on winning him over, his on uncovering his sister's wish. Back home, Fusang was lounging on the sofa, scrolling on her phone. Xiaoyu froze, dazzled. My sister is so beautiful. He walked up to her carefully. Sis, will you play the wish paper game with me? Qiao's eyes were full of hope, but Fusang frowned. That kind of thing is obviously fake. The system sighed on the side. It's just a child's innocence. Don't you get that? Fusang thought for a moment. I don't really have any wishes. If you have one, just tell me and I'll make it happen. Ouch, straight girl level, maxed out. Hearing that, Qiao's shoulders slumped. I just wanted to play a game with you. Seeing his pitiful face, Fusang reached over and patted his head. Fine, we'll play. Even if her little grievance generator makes her sigh, she still has to spoil him. But when it came time to write a wish, Fusang froze. I've got money, looks, and kids around me. I don't really lack anything. The system chimed in. My lady, you can just write down a mission. Completing missions is our greatest wish. Fusang almost burst out laughing. You're even straighter than I am. Left with no choice, she scribbled down a bit of her true feelings. Qiao, meanwhile, kept sneaking glances. What's sis writing? When Fusang finished, she looked around. Where's the envelope for the wish paper? Qiao feigned surprise. Oh no, I forgot to grab it. Just give it to me, I'll put it in. Yeah right, I totally trust you. Not a classic Xiaoyu, tricking sis into handing over her wish paper without even bringing the envelope. Smooth move. Fusang still gave him the paper. With his plan working perfectly, Qiao rushed back to his room, eyes sparkling. What did sis write? As he unfolded it, he noticed smudges where something had been rubbed. But the words he could see made his chest tighten with emotion. Don't worry, sis. I'll make your wish come true. Fusang's first wish. I hope to raise younger brothers who are upright and diligent, excelling in both character and studies. I hope Yensui can forget the coldness of his past and only remember today's warmth. I hope you can forget the darkness of his family and always stand in the sun. I hope they'll grow stronger and never be bullied again. May they face life independently, grow up healthy and happy, live safely, and be free of worries for the rest of their lives. Days flew by and Fusang's birthday drew near. To surprise her, the two boys dove into a frenzy of preparations. Chu Yensui practiced baking a cake. Meanwhile, Xiaoyu gathered flowers, determined to cover the entire venue in blooms. Both were busy and excited. Sis will love it, right? The maids looked on enviously. The country owes me a little brother. Same here, same here. At last, Fusang's birthday arrived. The boys were practically bouncing with anticipation that she's about to see our surprise. Will she like it? Of course. Every girl loves surprises. But on her birthday, an uninvited guest showed up. Fusang's father, Gu Shuahai. The maids panicked. Mr. Gu is here. The master just stepped out and we don't dare decide if he should be let in. Fusang stayed calm. Don't worry. Leave him to me. The system filled in the details. Gu Shuahai was a classic phoenix man. He married into the Gu family and built his fortune off Fusang's mother. Then he cheated during the marriage, even fathering an illegitimate daughter. Gu Qingying. In the end, Fusang's mother withered away because of him. Fusang's anger boiled. Scumbag. Recently, Gu's company was teetering on bankruptcy. Karma at last. And now, of all days, he came on her birthday. Definitely up to no good. The moment he saw her, Gu Shuhai beamed with fake warmth, arms spread wide as if to hug her. Fusang sidestepped coldly. Spit it out already. Gu waved his hand casually. Nothing serious, your aunt and I just miss you. Miss me? Fusang's stomach churned. Then why didn't you ever come see me before? Gu blinked, thrown off. She used to be so easy to coax. Why is she acting different today? Never mind that I just need to smooth talk her. Then I'll have my chance to bounce back. He reached for her again, but Fusang slapped his hand away in disgust. Still, Gu thickened his skin. I booked the most expensive hotel in a city for your birthday banquet. I even invited all kinds of big names just so everyone can see how outstanding my daughter really is. Fusang was speechless. He might as well have the words "I have a scheme" tattooed on his forehead. Even the system groaned. My lady, don't you dare go. The two boys were on edge. We worked so hard on our surprise and he wants to steal sis away? But Fusang calmly agreed. The Phoenix man lit up with joy, while the boys stood frozen in shock. Both grabbed her hands at once. Sister, we want to spend your birthday with you. Please don't go. Fusang soothed them gently. I'll be back soon. Remember to tell Grandpa for me. The boys' shoulders slumped, their ears drooping like sad puppies. She pulled them into her arms. Trust me that I just have something I must do. That I promise I'll come back tonight. Only then did they nod reluctantly. We'll wait for you. And no matter how late, we'll wait to open gifts together. Fusang smiled and sealed the promise. She turned and headed out. Let's go. Not once did she spare Gu Shuahai a glance. At the banquet, Fusang was clearly uncomfortable. She hated noisy crowds. Home was where she belonged. If Gu went this far, he definitely had an agenda. The Phoenix man leaned in, voice dripping with fake warmth. Sang, why don't you come over? Look at the birthday party Daddy prepared for you. Don't you like it? Fusang shot back coldly, flashy but hollow. With that, she took her glass and walked off. Gu clenched his fists, swallowing his rage. This girl really thinks she's somebody now? One guest frowned. Quite the birthday party you've thrown. But where's Qingying? Gu Shuahai chuckled. Oh, Mr. Zhang, you've misunderstood. This isn't for Qingying, it's for my other daughter. Once everyone had gathered, the Phoenix man proudly announced, Allow me to introduce a daughter I've never revealed before, Gu Fusang. Thank you all for coming to her birthday banquet. She also happens to be the granddaughter of Gu Nanshu, head of the Gu group. The crowd buzzed. When did he have another daughter? And she's Gu Nanshu's granddaughter? Others whispered, Doesn't matter, she's the tycoon's bloodline, that's enough. That's when Fusang realized he'd dragged her here just to be a prop. A waiter rolled out the cake. Jiu Shuhai beamed with false affection. Sang, here's your cake. Be a good daughter, blow the candles, make a wish. Fusang's face, utterly done. He piled on the theatrics. Sang has always been the family's little princess. Old Master Gu spoiled her beyond measure. Honestly, I've only risen thanks to her. The word thanks lit up the room. So does that mean the Gu family will back your new project? Any project with Gu's investment is a gold mine. Guests swarmed him with questions. Gu Shuahai grinned ear to ear. Of course. Everyone here is my friend, and naturally a friend of the Gu family as well. The system couldn't stand it anymore. My lady, leave. Don't let him use you like this. Fury burned in Fusang's chest. He's actually scamming people under the Gu family's name. But she thought coldly. Walking away now would be letting him off too easy. The system blinked. Then, what exactly are you planning? Fusang sneered. What makes me worthy of being called your little princess? The Phoenix man froze on the spot. You've been wearing that fake loving mask every day while you're sick of me inside. Aren't you tired of the act? He had been parading around under the Gu family's name, but there was no way Fusang would let him pull it off. She tore the facade apart on the spot, and the guests leaned in eagerly for drama. Jiu looked calm on the outside but was panicking inside. He forced a laugh. Sang, is this still about me not taking you on that trip years ago? Come on, you can't hold a grudge this long. Fusang chuckled coldly. You're quite the actor. You divorced my mother years ago. What trip? And when did the Gu family ever promise to invest in you? The guests erupted. Wait, what? The Gu family isn't investing. Then what the hell is he talking about? Desperate, Gu grabbed Fusang's arm. Everyone, don't worry. Kids throw tantrums. She can't speak for the Gu family. And as for her mother and me, well, it was all beyond my control. Fusang yanked her hand free. Beyond your control? What, did someone hold a knife to your throat and force you to cheat? Rage flickered in Gu's eyes, but he didn't dare explode. I need to get her out of here first. He cleared his throat, about to declare the banquet over, when a powerful voice cut through the hall. It was Fusang's grandfather, Gu Nanshu. Fusang rushed forward. Grandpa, why are you here? Gu Nanshu's gaze was sharp. I came because I feared someone would try to bully our Sang. He scanned the crowd coldly. I didn't expect someone's greed to sink this low, daring to set their sights on my granddaughter. With the old master standing right there, Gu's legs turned to jelly. He stammered. No, you've got it wrong. I wasn't. This isn't what it looks like. Old Master Gu tapped his cane against the floor, voice booming through the hall. Fusang is my one and only granddaughter, and the future heir of the Gu family. Every word she speaks represents me, represents the Gu family. Anyone scheming against her, don't even dream of taking a shred from us. The display of dominance stunned the crowd. Too powerful. Love it. With that, Gu Nanshu led Fusang away. Let's go home. Yensui and Xiaoyu are still waiting for you. By the time Fusang returned home, it was already late at night. She found the two boys fast asleep at the table. Her heart softened. Even this late, they still waited for me. On the table lay their carefully prepared gifts. A pair of handmade earrings, a necklace, and a folded paper crane. Opening another package, she discovered Xiaoyu's perfect test paper. Fusang gently stroked their heads. Thank you for these gifts. I love them. She lit the candles on the cake and whispered her wish. Next time, may we celebrate together, and may you both grow up healthy and happy. Then she carried each boy back to his room, whispering softly, Good night, Makapaka. The next morning, the two woke up grumbling at themselves. How could we be so useless? We fell asleep before Sis came back. We didn't even get to celebrate with her. Fusang walked in. Chu Yensui's eyes lit up. She was wearing the earrings he gave her. Xiaoyu nearly burst with joy. She's wearing my necklace too. Then she must have seen my test paper. Fusang smiled at them. Sorry I got back late last night, but I really love the gifts you gave me. The boys instantly perked up. As long as you like them, sis. Grandpa struck with a perfect assist. Looks like Yensui and Xiaoyu really adore you. They were gloomy all morning, yet the moment you showed up they came back to life. Both boys blushed hard. Geez, being exposed like this is so embarrassing. Then Grandpa said, I plan to transfer the company shares to you. Fusang shook her head. I'm not interested in money. Grandpa frowned. It'll all be yours sooner or later. Why refuse? Fusang smiled calmly. Because I want to pass those shares to them. The boys froze. Sis wants to leave the company to us? Fusang chuckled. Don't look so shocked. I've got my own plan. I'm fishing for a big catch. You'll understand soon enough. 2 weeks later, Gu Shuahai's company was suddenly acquired. He pocketed a large sum, but it wasn't enough to cover his debts. He schemed to himself. Whoever bought me out must have deep pockets. The rest of the money, I'll just find a way to squeeze it from her. Just then his secretary reported, Miss Sang has arrived. Gu's eyes gleamed. The investor is here. Once I talk her into funding my project, I'll be back on top. He rushed eagerly into the sitting room. But what he saw made his blood run cold. It was Fusang with the two boys at her side. What are you doing here? Fusang smiled faintly. Simple. Because the one who bought your company was me. Gu Shuahai stared at the contract on the table, his mind racing. The paperwork was legit. But why would she buy out my company? Could it be she's helping me in secret, just afraid of Grandpa Gu finding out? He immediately forced on a flattering smile. My dear daughter, I knew you wouldn't abandon me. Still, the acquisition price you offered was a bit low. He quickly added, Actually, I just took on a charity project. You could invest more money. You know your mother loved charity work. If she were alive, she'd definitely support this. Fusang felt a wave of disgust. The greatest charity she ever did was marrying you. She asked coldly, What's the project budget? Gu Shuahai smirked. Not much, just 20 to 30 million. Fusang sneered. Not much indeed. I'll allocate the funds. But this project has nothing to do with you anymore. You're fired. Once word spread that Fusang was going after the so-called Phoenix Man, the whole household buzzed with excitement. Grandpa personally assigned her a squad of bodyguards, ordering them to protect her at all costs. Even the maids armed themselves with pots and pans, declaring, Miss, we're joining the fight too. Xiaoyu tied a red victory band around his forehead, burning with fighting spirit. Chu Yensui gripped a can of pepper spray. Sis, we're all ready. No one's ever going to bully you again. Fusang was stunned. Seriously, am I really that fragile? The system practically jumped with excitement. This is the legendary Mary Sue moment. The Phoenix Man's face twisted with rage. What right do you have to tell me to get out? Fusang smirked coldly, holding up the share certificate. Is that qualification enough? You're fired. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Only then did he realize he'd been completely played. He went berserk, raging uselessly and even trying to grab her. Fusang didn't waste a second. She called in the bodyguards. Escort him out. With the farce over, she took the two kids by the hand and went home. What she didn't expect was that the vile Phoenix Man would soon set his sights on the children instead. Even at home, adored by everyone, Fusang couldn't escape the ultimate curse. Family nagging her about marriage. Seeing her so busy managing the company, Grandpa felt nothing but worry. The boys pretended to give Grandpa a back massage, but their eyes kept sneaking glances at their sister. When Fusang let out a yawn, Grandpa immediately asked, "Sang, are you pushing yourself too hard?" He then handed her his phone. "It's time to find you some support." Support. Fusang's gut screamed troubled. Grandpa's gaze was firm. "Go on a blind date. Bring back a boyfriend." Fusang froze while the boys practically exploded. What? Sister's going on a blind date? Grandpa had already prepared a long list of candidates. Fusang could only rub her temples helplessly and randomly pick one. The moment their sister agreed to a blind date, the two boys completely lost it. If she gets a boyfriend, does that mean she doesn't want us anymore? No way, we can't let this happen. They immediately called an emergency meeting. Chu Yensui spoke first. "If it weren't for this crisis, I'd never team up with you." "Same here," Xiaoyu grumbled. Then Yensui grabbed the photo of the blind date guy, scribbled all over it and stabbed his pencil down. "Let's dig into who this guy really is." Xiaoyu smirked. "Relax, I'll make sure some random stranger never gets close to our sister." Little did the poor guy know, he'd already been marked by two scheming devils. Before long, they discovered the blind date candidate was none other than Shin Lucy's cousin. They even tracked down the exact time and place of the date. Yensui muttered, "Should we call Shin Lucy and get the inside scoop?" When the call connected, both boys spoke at once. Shin Lucy was stunned. "Wait, why are the male lead and the villain calling me together?" The boys fired off questions in turn. What food does he hate? What does he refuse to do? Anything he's allergic to? Shin Lucy was baffled. Why are you only asking about things he hates? What are you two planning? After thinking for a moment, she said, "He hates sweets, gets seasick, and is allergic to pollen." Yensui immediately pulled out his notebook and scribbled it all down. "Perfect, everything's ready. Next step, Operation Date Sabotage." Early in the morning, as Fusang came downstairs, the two boys rushed over. "Sis, are you going out? We wanted to do arts and crafts with you today." Fusang sighed helplessly. "I promised Grandpa I'd go on a blind date today. I'll do homework with you when I get back, okay?" Yensui waved it off, pretending to be considerate. "No worries, your date's more important. By the way, where's the date? We don't want to hold you up." "Just at the shopping street nearby. Just a quick meet," Fusang replied casually, but the boys immediately protested. "No way, how can your first date be that casual?" Xiaoyu chimed in with mock seriousness. "It has to be somewhere romantic, like a park." Fusang shook her head, saying it wasn't necessary, but the two boys pressed on, taking turns persuading her. "Sis, how about Blue Lake Park? It's perfect." Yensui added fuel to the fire. "It's fun there and they've got trending dessert shops. A date should be full of sweet things." Fusang couldn't help but laugh, patting their heads. "Thank you for thinking so much for me. Fine, we'll do it your way." Inside, the two boys cheered. Step 1 complete. Poor Jiang Liu had no idea. His date was already hijacked by two little schemers before it even started. Just as Fusang was about to leave, the boys grabbed her hands at the same time. "Sis, can we come with you?" Fusang shook her head firmly. "It wouldn't be convenient to bring you along. Next time I'll take you both out myself, all right?" The boys dropped their heads, sulking. "Oh, we'll listen to you." Seeing the two kids look so disappointed, Fusang felt a wave of guilt wash over her. Like she had just become the villain of the story. The system trailed after her with fake tears, whining, "I can't believe Lady Fusang could be this cold and heartless." At the park, Fusang met her blind date, Jiang Liu. He greeted her with an over-the-top smile, radiating enthusiasm. What he didn't realize was that two little schemers were crouched in the bushes, whispering, "Target acquired. Phase 1 begins. Today, we'll make sure he has the most unforgettable date of his life." As they walked, Jiang Liu chattered non-stop like a broken radio, while Fusang responded with the bare minimum. Suddenly, Fusang caught sight of the bushes rustling, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. She marched over and found the two kids crouched down, plotting in hushed voices. "And what exactly are you two doing here?" she asked coldly. Her sudden voice nearly scared them out of their skins. With guilty faces they stammered, We're just out for a walk. You believe us, right, sis?" Jiang Liu came over too, so Fusang introduced them. "These are my little brothers that I brought them along. Hope you don't mind?" At first, Jiang Liu forced a polite smile, insisting it was no problem. But the moment the kids started demanding dessert shops, his patience began to crack. After that, they dragged him onto a boat. Then they insisted he buy flowers. Finally, Jiang Liu snapped, shouting, "Do you two have any idea how much trauma you're causing me right now? I hate sweets, I get seasick, and I'm allergic to pollen." Fusang finally realized the two kids didn't seem to like Jiang Liu from the start. She pulled them aside. Gently, she asked, "You don't want me to go on blind dates, do you?" Faced with her question, the boys lowered their heads, unable to find the words. Fusang sighed softly. "Just tell me what's in your heart that I won't blame you." Chu Yensui spoke first. "I don't want you to date, sis." Xiaoyu quickly followed. "Same here." Fusang frowned. "Why not?" Chu Yensui muttered. "Because if you get married, you might not want me anymore." Xiaoyu echoed. "Same here." Looking at their guilty, darting eyes, Fusang couldn't help but think, even their clingy little brain circuits are kind of adorable. The system was already bawling. "Lady Fusang, it's clear now. The hero and the so-called villain both really love you." Fusang knelt down and made a promise. "I won't go on blind dates anymore." Hearing this, the two kids nearly jumped for joy on the spot. She patted their heads. "Don't worry that I'm not leaving you." But then she grew serious. "Still, what you did today was too much. Jiang Liu didn't do anything wrong, yet you kept messing with him. That's not okay. You can't act like that again." She lightly tapped their foreheads. "You mustn't hurt others for no reason, understand?" The boys realized their mistake and lowered their heads once again. Looking at her adorable little brothers, Fusang couldn't stay angry. She told them to wait right there while she went to apologize to Jiang Liu. The boys, still basking in the joy of "sis won't be taken away," had no idea danger was creeping up behind them. A dark shadow suddenly loomed over their backs, and before they could react, their mouths and noses were covered. The two boys had been kidnapped. Meanwhile, Fusang had just handed Jiang Liu a polite rejection, ready to take her brothers home. But where were they? She looked around in alarm, finding no trace of them. Their phones wouldn't connect either. Desperate, Fusang turned to the system. After a flurry of digital searching, the result was grim. They had vanished. Panic struck her chest. Was this part of the original story? Just then her phone rang. On the other end came a stranger's voice. Only then did Fusang realize Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu had been kidnapped. The kidnappers demanded 20 million in cash and warned her, "No cops or the kids die." Fusang demanded to hear their voices to make sure they were alive, but the line was cut immediately. The system stammered in panic, "What do we do now?" Fusang, however, steadied herself. "Track the signal," she ordered. With the location roughly pinned down, she jumped into her car and set off for the rescue. Meanwhile, Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu slowly regained consciousness, instantly realizing something was wrong. They'd been kidnapped. While the kidnappers were away, Chu Yensui quietly smashed a teacup on the table. He planned to use the shards to cut through the ropes. But before he could act, the kidnappers returned, forcing the boys to feign sleep. One of them spotted the shards on the ground and sneered, "Looks like our little mice aren't behaving." He grabbed Yensui's hand, trying to take the shard, but Yensui resisted with all his strength. Xiaoyu tried to threaten them with ransom money but was kicked aside. The kidnappers laughed. "Threaten us? You think paying the ransom means you'll walk out alive?" With danger closing in, Xiaoyu stubbornly snapped back, "If you kill us, I swear you won't see a single cent." A kidnapper yanked him up by the collar, mocking, "Oh, feisty aren't we?" Just as he raised his fist, Chu Yensui blurted out, "Keeping us alive is worth way more than killing us." The kidnappers paused, intrigued. "Oh, and how's that?" Chu Yensue's tone hardened. If you let us go, the Gu family will pay you far more, several times, even dozens of times more, than whatever your employer promised. One of the kidnappers shoved Xiaoyu onto Chu Yensui and sneered, "Impossible. Kid, you're insulting me, you're trampling on my pride. This is no different from a pro gamer throwing a match. You're testing my bottom line. And clever little brats don't live long." At that moment, Fusang finally arrived nearby. The system urged, "Lady Fusang, stay calm, wait for backup." But Fusang floored the gas pedal, her car screeching to a halt right in front of the kidnappers. She stepped out, baseball bat in hand, like a wrathful deity descending. "You dare touch my boys? You must have a death wish." Storming in alone, she stunned the kidnappers. "Who the hell are you? Believe it or not, we'll tie you up too." Fusang didn't waste words, she swung hard, crack. "Anyone who dares kidnap my family doesn't get to live easy." Only then did the thugs realize who she was. "You're Gu Fusang. How did you even find us?" Her only answer was another swing of the bat. One kidnapper barely dodged with a slippery sidestep. His smug grin lasted barely 2 seconds before Fusang's kick crushed his lower body, sending both men crashing to the ground. With murder in her eyes, Fusang advanced. Terrified, the two kidnappers stammered, "Stay back." What followed was a merciless beating. The boys stared wide-eyed. "That's really our sister. She's so violent." Then, almost in unison, "But we love it." Fusang tossed the bat aside. She hurried to untie the boys, her face full of guilt. "It's my fault, I didn't protect you." "Sis, are you hurt?" they asked anxiously. Fusang was about to answer, when she caught sight of a kidnapper charging from behind with a knife. In a split second, she shielded the boys with her body. They were safe, but the blade sank into her flesh. Summoning the last of her strength, Fusang wrestled the attacker to the ground. At that moment, backup finally arrived. But Fusang collapsed from her wounds. As her vision blurred, she whispered to the system, "Am I going to die?" Watching medics work frantically on her own body, she asked again, "So, am I really done for?" The system snorted, "Your soul is literally out of your body. What do you think?" Fusang blinked. "Wait, why does my soul still have clothes on?" The system rolled its eyes. "Forget that. What matters is, this body won't hold up." "Then what? Can I just go back?" she asked, already turning away. The system panicked, blocking her path. "No way. The mission isn't finished. You can't leave yet." "I've got another solution," it added quickly. Fusang narrowed her eyes. "What, turn me into a vegetable so I can keep babysitting?" The system smirked. "If this body won't work, I'll just get you a new one." Fusang groaned. "You've got to be kidding me." When Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu entered their first year of high school, a stunning new transfer student joined their class. The whole school went wild. Class 3 of Year 1 is way too blessed. Campus prince already there, now a campus queen drops in. Unreal. Stepping into the classroom, Fusang introduced herself with a simple, "Hello, my name is Fusang." Whispers erupted instantly. "No way, how can someone be this gorgeous?" The teacher assigned her a seat, and Fusang noticed both sides of the desk were oddly empty. Just as she sat down, the girl in front spun around. "Hey, do you know Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu?" Before Fusang could answer, the girl started chattering non-stop. "Fusang, you look so familiar. Like the super pretty big sis I knew when I was little." The noise made Fusang's head ache. That over-the-top enthusiasm. It felt strangely familiar. "Where have I seen this girl before?" The system whispered, "That's the original heroine, Lucy." Fusang's eyes widened. "She's grown this much already? Then what about my boys? What do they look like now?" Fusang demanded the system pull up their photos. The system groaned, still organizing them. Fusang snapped, "At your speed you expect a raise?" The system rolled its eyes and tuned her out. Lucy pressed again, "You really don't know Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu?" When Fusang denied it, disappointment flickered across her face. But remember, she was a transmigrator too. With years of otherworldly experience backing her, Lucy swore, "Impossible. Absolutely impossible." And so she eagerly continued probing. The class bell rang and Fusang sat at her desk, lost in thought. "What do my boys look like now?" Suddenly, Chu Yensui pushed open the door. The teacher snapped, "Late to class and you don't even announce yourself?" Fusang looked up and froze. Sui stood there, tall, handsome, exuding cold arrogance. Compared to the shy little boy from years ago, it wasn't even close. What kind of cruel joke is this? She nearly broke down. Is this really Sui? How did he turn into this? I want my cute little grudge machine back. Can I get an exchange, please? The system deadpanned. What do you think this is, a vegetable market? You don't just swap kids like cabbages. Sui brushed off the teacher's scolding and strolled over lazily. But the moment he saw someone sitting at his desk, his expression darkened. New here. I don't like sharing a desk. Move. Fusang turned her head calmly. Sorry, but I just finished unpacking. Not moving. Sui's pupils shrank the instant he saw her face. Shock rippled through him. Sister? Is this really my sister? Fusang's voice cut through his daze. Is this how you normally treat people with no manners at all? Clenching his fists, Sui trudged back to the door and with obvious reluctance muttered, Report. The whole class gasped. What kind of miracle day was this? The infamous Chu Sui, actually obeying rules? Even the teacher was stunned that he actually said it. Sui's face burned red as he bolted for his seat and class finally resumed. Fusang sat at her desk, lost in thought, while Chu Sui kept staring at her the entire time. His gaze made her scalp tingle. No way. Did he actually recognize me? The system smirked smugly. Impossible. Absolutely impossible that you're someone else now. Our rebirth system is airtight. Fusang groaned inwardly. Airtight. Please. Same face, nearly the same name. What kind of strict system is this? Finally, the bell rang. She sighed in relief. Do you even know how I survived this class? As soon as class ended, Sui walked straight up to her, his voice cold. What's your name? Fusang. Sui's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Suddenly, a classmate walked in and told the teacher that Chu Sui was needed in the office. Oh, and to bring Xiaoyu along too. Sui immediately turned on his heel, face dark. I'm not close to Xiaoyu. Don't drag me into his business. Fusang blinked in confusion. Wait, what? Since when did these two little chaos machines fall out with each other? That's not how the story's supposed to go. The fact that her two cubs had turned against each other left Fusang completely baffled. Hey, trash system, you'd better give me a reasonable explanation. The system answered weakly. Because of your death, a lot of misunderstandings piled up between them. Your mission now is to bring them back together. Fusang frowned even harder. Misunderstandings. I died. What could they possibly misunderstand about that? Just then, Shinlusi came over again, grinning. Fusang, you're amazing. Chu Sui actually talked to you just now. Fusang rolled her eyes. What? Him saying a few words is supposed to be headline news. Shinlusi, clearly loving the drama, leaned in closer. But he's famous for being cold as ice. For him to take the initiative like that. I bet he's into you. Fusang's face darkened. Into me? Don't joke about that. And definitely don't make it sound like some twisted soap opera romance. Shinlusi quickly grabbed her hand. Then let's go to gym class together. But Fusang shook her head. I'm not feeling well. I'll just rest here in the classroom. Shinlusi sighed in defeat. Another attempt at sticking close had failed. Fine, then I'll just keep you company while you rest. Exhausted from her rebirth and still physically weak, Fusang eventually dozed off at her desk. That's when Chu Sui walked in, his eyes immediately locking onto her sleeping figure. It wasn't just the name and the face. Even the expression in her sleep was exactly the same. Could there really be such a thing as reincarnation? Sui gave a bitter laugh. No, impossible. People don't come back. My sister. She could never come back. Fusang woke up, glanced at Chu Sui beside her and said calmly, You look less like a student now, and more like a street thug. Sui raised a brow. So you've got a problem with me? Fusang let out a soft laugh. Not really a problem. I just don't like the way you act, that's all. Sui lowered his head, his eyes burning as he stared at her. Then what kind of guy do you like? Out of nowhere, Fusang answered, Chu Sui, I like people with tragic pasts. The kind who can generate resentment. Her words froze Sui in place. The system, meanwhile, nearly collapsed. Fusang, who just blurts out the truth like that? Sui forced a wry smile. That's a pretty unique taste. Then, with sudden seriousness, he added, But you really remind me of someone I once knew. Fusang kept her expression steady. The world's a big place. It's not strange if people look alike. Hearing that, Yensui didn't push further, he simply nodded in agreement. Fusang secretly breathed a sigh of relief. This older version of the little troublemaker was way harder to deal with. She had almost slipped up just now. After school, Chu Yensui couldn't stop replaying every move the new student Fusang made, because she looked way too much like his sister. Suddenly, a message notification snapped him out of his thoughts. He picked up his phone and froze. It was from Xiaoyu, someone who hadn't contacted him in 4 months. The unexpected message left Yensui unsure how to respond. Before he could think it through, Xiaoyu's call came through. Yensui answered coldly, "Yeah, there's a new student who looks like my sister. But so what? Don't tell me you're thinking of finding a replacement." Xiaoyu said nothing, then abruptly hung up. Yensui's gaze fell on the messy desk, covered with old photos of him and his sister. That he knew the truth. Fusang was gone. No one in this world could ever replace her. Holding his summer homework, Yensui looked up and pleaded softly, "Sis, I don't understand this problem. Can you teach me?" So Fusang leaned over, patiently explaining the key points and tricky parts of the problem. But the next second, a tall, broad-shouldered figure suddenly loomed over her. Fusang whipped her head around and nearly jumped out of her skin. Chu Yensui had grown up in an instant. Suddenly, the now much taller Chu Yensui leaned in close, a mischievous grin tugging at his lips. "Sis, I still don't really get it. Why don't you explain it to me, a little more thoroughly?" Fusang's eyes nearly popped out of her head. She shouted, "Absolutely not." In a flash, she bolted upright from her bed. It had all just been one ridiculously absurd dream. Cut to the next scene. Fusang arrived at school, only to discover her 2 little troublemakers had skipped class. Yet again. Shin Lucy greeted her enthusiastically as she sat down, but Fusang looked visibly worried. How had her once well-behaved cubs turned into chronic truants? She couldn't help but ask, how did Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu end up becoming the kings of ditching class? Shin Lucy quickly explained, "It's not like they're always skipping. Chu Yensui was already at the bottom of the class and constantly fighting, so the teachers stopped bothering with him. Xiaoyu, on the other hand, has grades so good that the teachers just turn a blind eye." Fusang hadn't expected this. Her 2 boys had grown up to be polar opposites. A nagging thought struck her. During those years she was gone, just what had happened to them that could cause such a drastic change? She ordered the system to pull up the records of her boys' growth. The system flipped open a little notebook and explained, "After you passed away, Uncle Gu was devastated. But even in his grief, he still provided Chu Yensui and Xiaoyu with material support. The problem was he never understood their inner worlds, so no one was there to bridge their bond anymore. As a result, misunderstandings piled up, until their relationship completely shattered." Fusang listened, her head pounding from worry. Just then she accidentally bumped hard into a passerby. Rubbing her forehead, she looked up. Her heart skipped a beat. No way. Could this guy really be her once sweet, obedient cub Xiaoyu? Xiaoyu froze the instant he saw her. "Dice that my sister?" No, it couldn't be, and yet his lips moved on their own as he whispered, "Sis." Fusang fought back the urge to reveal herself, holding her tongue. The next moment, Xiaoyu realized she must be that transfer student Chu Yensui had mentioned, the one who looked eerily like his sister. Yes, she was similar, but she wasn't her. With that thought, Xiaoyu quickly turned his back and walked away. That one accidental bump, the transfer student colliding with the school's cold prince, instantly drew a crowd of onlookers. Phones whipped out, flashes clicked, and the perfect couple shot was already making the rounds. Back in class, Shin Lucy rushed in, nearly tripping over her own feet as she grabbed Fusang's hand. "Chu Yensui's in the hospital," she blurted out. Meanwhile, Chu Yensui was enduring a storm of insults from an enraged couple, the parents of the boy he had beaten down. The mother, apparently unsatisfied with words alone, raised her hand ready to slap him across the face. But at that crucial moment, someone stepped in and stopped her. No surprise to anyone, it was Fusang making her dramatic entrance. The furious woman snapped, "Step aside, girl. This has nothing to do with you." Chu Yensui, startled, asked quickly, "Why are you here?" Fusang stood tall, hands on her hips, and shot back with confidence, "I'm here to back you up." Chu Yensui froze on the spot, completely speechless, like someone who just got hit with front-row stage fright. The couple across from them sneered. Clearly this girl's never been beaten down by society. "Back him up? You think you can?" Fusang scoffed. You'll know soon enough whether I can or not. She wasn't here to play fair. She was here to stand behind her boy. With a cold glare, Fusang asked, "What's the deal? You think just because his family's got money you can corner him and shake him down?" The woman's face twisted. Fusang had nailed her scheme right on the head and it stung. She jabbed a finger at Chu Yensue's face and snapped, "This brat put my son in the ICU, he hit so he pays, that's how the world works." Fusang turned toward Chu Yensui, her eyes silently pressing for an explanation. "Why did you hit him?" Chu Yensui caught on instantly. "He insulted my sister, that I hit him. That's self-defense, isn't it?" Fusang's expression softened with understanding. So that was it. He'd done it for her. That made things simple. If it's about protecting her own, it was absolutely self-defense. The couple, furious at the pair's back and forth, raised their fists, ready to let these weak little high schoolers taste some real-world iron fists. Fusang didn't flinch. Instead, she ordered sharply, "If they so much as swing, you record everything. We'll have proof it was them who struck first." Chu Yensui did exactly as Fusang ordered, pulling out his phone to record everything. Fusang smirked and taunted, "Come on then, hit me. I swear I won't cry, fraud." At that, the couple finally snapped. The woman lunged forward with a wild move, straight at Fusang's chest. Fusang reacted instantly, locking down her arm before slamming her back with a crushing strike that sent the woman crashing to the ground. Flat on the floor, the woman flipped the script, clutching her chest and screaming for compensation. Fusang shot back, furious, "You struck first, then tripped yourself. This is self-defense and it's all on camera." Watching Fusang deal with the bullies so decisively, Chu Yensue's heart trembled. She's just like my sister.